I am going to refresh. We are live, I think. Let me double check. Yes, we are. Hello, everyone. How
Hello.
are you guys doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. I've got an exciting interview today with Kamilla, who is one of gorgeous Nourish to Flourish graduates from the last program, and I am so excited to have a little short chat with you, just to hear about your journey, how you found the whole thing, what was surprising, what were your results most importantly. So first of all, thank you so much for offering your precious time, especially with the family and the two kids. Much, much, much appreciated. And I think those who are still sort of on the fence whether they should join Nourish to Flourish or whether they may have some questions, I think they will benefit from hearing this interview. But Kamilla, tell us first of all, like, what were you struggling with before joining Nourish to Flourish? What kind of made you look for something like that?
At that point in time, I think that the biggest reason why I wanted to join a program like that was I was really exhausted, really run down. I felt I needed some pick me up, and when I did your Thrive for Life challenge, I was really impressed. What I saw there. I was heavily dependent on coffee and sugar as well. I thought I generally eat very well, but I think in between, like in between meals, I would snack very often just to get a little bit of energy kick. And I thought, what I saw there would make a big difference for me. Um, um, yeah, I think being dependent on coffee and the fact that I was really no matter what I did, I was quite tired all the time, and
Mm-hmm.
I thought maybe it's connected to the way I eat, but there might be some deeper work there that needs to be done.
Yeah. And I remember you mentioned that because I remember you kind of watching a little bit more from the quiet side, the
Yeah.
5 day reset challenge. It's something that I remember you shared that it took you completely by surprise, kind of seeing how much what happens in the background, which is, all of our emotions, all of our beliefs, all of our fears, that potentially we're actually contributing to some of your symptoms that you were experiencing, right?
Yes, and I am very open to to energy work and holistic approach, but I don't think I put the two together, like the way you eat and how you approach like self-development, and the two are so connected together.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. And what did you enjoy the most in the challenge itself? Because that kind of, you said you found it really in one of your testimonials that you shared, that it was sort of such a high vibe that
Mhm.
you were like, oh wow, if those 5 days are like this, like what can the rest look like?
Yes, I think that sense of community, and also joint energy, how much energy you were able to create, and I already had so many breakthroughs during that 5 day challenge that then I thought, if I can take that further and work deeper on myself, allow myself to work a bit more, then a lot it's possible. A lot can be achieved.
Amazing, amazing. And also because you have two young children, right? Like small children. So I remember you mentioned it was also that the time that initially you were kind of worried that you may not be able to find the time to commit to this. So what's kind of made you change your mind about it?
I think I just made a decision that I want to dedicate this time to myself, and also the fact that it was quite structured in terms of, like the the recipes, and they looked quite simple, and also that the course would happen in the evening. I could work around that, but I think just generally being very impressed what I've seen in the 5-day challenge was making that decision that I'm going to commit that time to myself, and I am going to look after myself a bit more. And it's just kind of letting go of the excuses why I can't do it, more so, because it has been, even in those 6 weeks, it was in a way it was challenging, but I think just having that positive approach that I want to do it, and also how quickly I saw results, after 2 or 3 days, I've seen how well I felt. That kind of gave me the motivation to keep going and see, what else is possible, how much better I can feel. And just the food was amazing. The recipes are very easy to prepare. I cook myself anyway. I cook from scratch, and I always was thinking, healthy eating it can be quite challenging to put everything together. So I always look for easy options anyway, although I cook from scratch, but these recipes, they were very delicious. So that was, encouraging in itself to kind of keep going and try a next recipe, because I think maybe apart from couple, I liked all of the foods, and they didn't seem like, they didn't feel restrictive. They didn't feel like you're dieting. And also I shared like the main dishes, like the lunch ones and dinner ones I shared with my partner, and he really liked. He's very open to trying new foods. And although some of it might seem like, oh, maybe this is not substantial for the men, but he would have something maybe on the side, but he really liked it. So in that way, it was very encouraging that, I don't have to do that on my own. I don't just, have to cook something separately for myself, but I could kind of incorporate that with what everyone else was eating.
Yeah, and that was I'm really glad that you kind of mentioned that, because that was also is still one of my mains. When I do kind of put these plans or programs together, is not to make anyone excluded, like, oh my gosh, this is my diet now, and you guys have to do your thing. It's actually how, by one, focusing on yourself, you're also encouraging the family to kind of to join. And because they are so simple, so delicious, so easy, everyone else benefits from it as well, and kind of like it's almost like a little extra motivation for the rest of the family to get healthy at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. I love that. And well, aside from, kind of what you saw in the challenge, the delicious foods, what else did you find like really changing, like, of course the word I'm looking for the right word, attractive in the whole, Nourish to Flourish program?
I think just generally, the holistic approach and how much energy work was, we get to do. I was, I think, looking to that the most, because the energy work would just, kind of set me for the week, I would say. What else? And it's just, it's just not a diet. It's nothing to do with, like, if there's someone who is looking to kind of, I don't know, lose weight, it's nothing like that. You might lose weight. I did actually naturally. I wasn't this wasn't my aim to lose weight, but it just naturally came off. But it's just the fact that it's very holistic approach. I maybe just lost my trail of thought a little bit, but and also kind of learning to recognize my triggers. I think it's my biggest takeaway. And finding some blind spots in terms of what triggers me and what affects the way I feel, or the way why I reach for a coffee or for a sugary snack, or why I don't make the best choice in terms of food particular day, and how to change it quickly.
I love it. And I remember you were actually one of the very first ones who, like you said, within a few days of following the plan, started not only feeling better, but I remember you mentioned you slept a lot better.
Yeah.
And as we all were observing you on our calls, I mean, your skin, just went from well, it wasn't bad to start with, but you were just glowing every week that we saw each other on the call. And I even took photos of everyone before they started the program, just their faces alone. And at the end of the program, how much everyone's aura, energy, faces, skin changed so much. And I remember you were one of the first one who was like, I can't believe that I can actually feel this better so much, so quickly into the program.
That's right. And also, like it was so refreshing getting up in the morning and actually looking fresh in the mirror for a change, not puffy. I almost could compare the fact, the way I slept. I could feel like hormonal change in my body, because it's very similar to the way you sleep in this part of like when you are pregnant. I don't know which trimester. I don't remember. I think it's probably maybe like once you've gone through the bed patch. There is a patch where you sleep really well, and I could compare it to that time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's just like you've got this tiredness to go and sleep, but it's this good tiredness, if you know what I mean. Like you just fall asleep very easily and have uninterrupted sleep.
Amazing. Yeah, it's like there are physical changes that you will experience, but also I'm actually curious to see kind of, what are the changes mentally, like what shifts in your beliefs have you noticed by, being a part of the program? What's like shifted, changed, and you wouldn't have, even expected for it to go that deep?
I think I also had quite a deep belief that at my age I can't change certain things in terms of like the way I look, or just around food as well. So that just gone away. And even like when we spoke, I looked through my notes, what I wrote before, and it's just some things that are just not true. So I can't actually, like, it's almost it's difficult to spell them out, what I believe before. I just don't want to have it in my consciousness almost. Just also what changed. This is not. I'm just looking at some notes that I haven't done just now, but was when I had the breakthroughs. Just having more trust in myself, and also the fact that looking after myself, it's not selfish. This is quite a big one for me. Previously I would feel quite often quite selfish if I took time for myself, but it's no longer the case. In order to be able to look after my family and do other things, I have to kind of refill my cup as it is, so I can do it in a good way. I can do it with open heart, and not losing my patience as easily. And as we just went into a lockdown this week, my daughter is going to be homeschooled, and I must say I haven't lost my patience as easily, because I just know my triggers now, and I know that, it's not helpful. And I think, not being so dependent on sugar has a lot to play. I think if you're very dependent on sugar, you can lose your patience much quicker, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that you actually mentioned that, because um a lot of women who join this time, the challenge, one of their main goals is to release the weight. But actually, I loved what you said about the triggers, and especially what we're experiencing with the lockdown, with many of us losing patience because of certain circumstances, that then triggers that kind of immediate reach out for food, for sugary snacks, to kind of to one, make us ourselves feel better, but also to almost calm ourselves down, like give ourselves excuse to reach out for these foods, which then contributes to more feeling of unwell physically, gaining more weight, and kind of that vicious circle um, um, going on. So it's interesting to see that apart from just it being a nice nourishing plan, there are
Mhm.
also mental benefits that you gained. And remember we had that conversation in our last call, when I asked you guys a question, imagine had you not done this course, how worse of your mental health would have been without the support of all of us, keeping our vibration high, focusing on positives, what we're bringing to the table, how much we're looking after ourselves. And I just love, 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 love that you mentioned that, I no longer feel guilty or selfish when I'm looking after myself. And this is the biggest self-sabotaging block for many women when they start looking after themselves. But like you said, I now fill my cup and it's full now. I can give to my family more, I can give to myself more, and I no longer get triggered, or it's at least I've got it under control.
Yeah, yeah. And I think children sense it very quickly, because
Yeah.
I think in the past I would do it with that guilt, and I could very easily give up. For instance, when we were not in lockdown, I would take my a Friday off, to go out, to go to a sauna or to go to an exercise class. And when I start owning the fact that I'm going out on Friday night, they would be quite open to it. They kind of recognize that I'm going out. Even the little one, who is only 3 years old, she would know, are you going to your Pilates class today? And she would not, she wouldn't be upset the fact that I'm leaving the house. So they so smart.
I love it. Oh my gosh, this is like the best comment so far, because what I've been teaching over the last 5 days, it's like, we seem to think that, oh, we're just going to do the program for us. But as soon as you start owning yourself and giving yourself permission to do the things that you've always wanted or that you've been putting off for so long, immediately everyone else also kind of like, okay, yeah, that's her thing, I honor that, I respect that. So the minute we start respecting ourselves and honoring ourselves, and doing that commitment to growth and getting better physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, everyone else just kind of like, okay, cool, fine, go have fun.
Definitely, definitely. And
Yeah.
I would thoroughly recommend doing it now, while we're going through this, this patch. I've done it in the November, which was a lockdown. I mean, my daughter was at school, so it did give me some structure, but this was, so much, it helped me so much to get through that November time, because you're not able to go and see anyone. So this gave me structure and some focus as well. And I was also studying for an exam. So that I didn't mention this earlier, but it really gave me the energy to study. I couldn't study during the day, but having had a good day and good nutritious food during the day, then I was able to kind of sit down 2 hours in the evening and study, and be able to get up the next morning quite refreshed.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Gosh, so many wins. I love it. So, I mean, why was it worth it taking this holistic approach versus anything else you've done before? Energy healing, combining energy healing, nutrition, gorgeous, delicious, healthy food, and having everything changed. I mean, I love what you mentioned about, it's even just going through some of the beliefs that we were working through at the
Mhm.
beginning, like it's not even a part of your consciousness, which is, I think, the biggest shifts that people who join go through, is that once it's healed, it's out of your consciousness, it's gone.
Yes. Yeah. I think the biggest reason why you would do it this way is it's so much more sustainable. It's something that you can take away. Um, I mean, I don't believe in diets, and this isn't. I don't like this word actually. I mean, this is not a diet. It's almost like a lifestyle. You have to what you eat, and also what you put in your body in terms of your thoughts. They so equally important, I would say. Um, and it's ongoing work, and I feel like I have some tools now that I can use. I intend to follow the program again from tomorrow, maybe with some modifications, but it just worked for me so much. I would say, just go for it. um yeah, I think, the fact that it's not a diet, and the fact that it's so much, it's a holistic approach, you will get so much more out of it. And also the group energy, we kind of fed off each other, and we went through a lot of similar experiences, and very often listening to other ladies, I just had the same experience, or the same thoughts, or the same limiting beliefs.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So, it's, yeah.
Because
Mhm.
sometimes we think, oh, we're the only ones who are going through this, or we're the only ones who are experiencing these challenges, or is this kind of my reality? And when you find somebody else who actually goes through exactly the same thing, not only gives you more courage to kind of surrender to it, but it's also like, oh my gosh, we can actually do this together. And I think this is the most powerful thing of being in the group, rather than kind of trying to do this on your own, is that we richly held our hands. And there were weeks where some of you were getting kind of more breakthroughs than others. Some weeks were challenging, but the fact that we had that support and accountability all the time, that was the most powerful thing, right? Kind of just sharing the experience and knowing that there are others who are going through exactly the same thing as you.
Yes, definitely.
Mm. Well, thank you so much. I mean, last question, would you recommend it to
Absolutely,
anyone?
absolutely. I hope I will have a chance to do it live again. Definitely, I would recommend 100%.
Thank you so much, Kamilla. Let me just check on Facebook if there are any questions. Barbara says hi. Hi, Barbara. Lovely to see you. I can't see any questions just yet, but if you guys do have any, please feel free to pop them in the comment below, or just message me privately. I really hope that this interview kind of shared a little bit more perspective of what Nourish to Flourish is, and what it isn't. I mean, you can see that there's just it's so much more than just another diet plan that you follow for 30 days and off you go back to your old self. This is a complete reset, rewiring, and reprogramming of who you are, teaching you how to love yourself, how to honor yourself, how to use food as nourishment, not punishment, and just dive so much deeper so that you feel completely brand new person, healthier mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually, right?
Absolutely.
Oh, thank you so much, Camilla, for your time. I'm just going to wrap this up. And yep, guys, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Thank you again. And let me just stop the live stream.